Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hopefully y'all can hear me right now. It is just me right now. I think we might have Ben come on later. He is busy with something. Yesterday we had a huge day with the self-persuasion event. Apparently Russell was on stage for 8 hours. So thank you all for joining me here. Um, so it's kind of going to be like I'm not usually the guy who runs this, so I kind of follow. So since I'm the only one here, we're kind of just gonna go based on what you guys want to do. I do have something fun to show you with Barnum, but I'll kind of keep an eye on the chat here. Um, I should probably get something on the screen so that'd be more interesting for you guys. Let me get all my stuff. So I was just like you guys sitting in the audience waiting for our host to show up. So one second here, guys. Okay, get back over here. Okay, everyone's doing great. If you guys can't hear me or anything, so next week is Black Friday. Um, Thank you guys. Good morning. Good morning. So we're just gonna start like just showing you some Barney stuff. Like normally, do you pay for Barnum? Can you put your own reference? We used to allow your own OpenAI key, but we kept changing the model every time it comes out with a new one, and then that kept disabling certain people. So at the moment, it is just you have to pay. You can't put in your own API key. I'm sorry about that, but we do have something kind of fun here. Let's see. Okay. So if you go to the app.bottom, there is one thing I added. It's an extremely long video. It's 42 minutes of me just going through with a bunch of music. I'm sorry. I just going through the whole thing. Like there's really, I think it was, I put it down here, 80 plus features in Barn PT. That's a bit too much features, but so one thing that's fun, and this is purely for fun, if you go to app.barnpt, and this works for free and premium users, if you go to make avatar, what I did is you can put your photo there and your favorite thing, if you like coffee, dogs, or whatever, and then it will take the BarnumPT thing and your photo and create an avatar, and then you can set it as your avatar. Right now, it doesn't really do too much. It just kind of puts it on the homepage here and like welcome back. But in the future, if people like the idea, we could put it into something. So I'll just jump back over to Zoom so I can actually see you guys. Um, yeah, that's just a little fun thing. Are you recording this? Ben would probably be the one that would actually do that normally. I wish, yeah. So what do you guys want me to do? You guys want me to like design something? What, like throw some questions my way. What was the link? Oh, so it's, yeah, I'll just put it in here. Okay, it is being recorded. This is my first time doing something like this all by my alone. So I do have some people from the team, so not entirely alone. Go through a funnel. Okay. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna have to open up my account and I'll share my screen in 1 second to see if there's like I personally, it's probably I'll show my screen. So I'm more of a designer guy rather than full funnel guy. Like I actually don't have my own funnels out in the wild right now, if you can believe it. Uh, so let's just go through. We could just talk about ClickFunnels. There's I always go through here and be like, yeah, there's really not like all my stuff that I do is either aliens, dogs, some things about funnels. I have all kinds of things that it'd be great to show, but I don't know if I can. Um, so let's go back over here. Where am I? So one thing, I'm sorry guys that I'm a little bit aloof on this, is that once I do share my screen, I can't actually see the chat anymore. Here we go. Chat. Oh, there we go. Awesome. So, do, do, do. Go through a file and use Barnum and show all the things that you would do. Okay. So like, so actually, so what I do, I'm just trying to see. Okay. What I actually like for me as a template designer, I kind of like to come up with inspiration. Uh, you guys can't see the chat or link to the chat, but like, so if we come up with like a funnel to build, maybe, then like I'll just show you how I would come up with a funnel. Do a two-step funnel. And then just do these two. No, actually, do my favorite thing and just start from scratch. And then if anyone wants to throw any kind of like niche or any kind of product idea, maybe we can just go off the cuff. So like the first thing I would do, and then like hopefully everything's all groovy on whatever I was doing on Sora before I come over here. Okay, yeah, it's all safe. So what I would do is I'd come up with a tiny challenge, chaos to come. Okay, um, so what I'm gonna first do, I want a logo. It's blue with a hint of orange. Sorry. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to find sorry guys for coughing. So well, the first thing I do, and if we're building anything, is I always like to have some kind of anchor, and usually I'll go for the logo, right? If you don't have the logo, we'll try to build something so that we can have some kind of anchor. What kind of colors, what kind of aesthetic are we going with? I'm just gonna throw that into it again so that we have more options. And this should just help us get to some kind of like kind of visual reference here. So let's just reload that. Not sure what's going on there. Come on, ClickFunnels. Peaceful. So it's like the technology knows it's looking, and now it just wants to like not load in for some reason. Okay, so let's just do this again. So we go here. We got the funnel. Okay, I'm not sure what happened there. There is a new version of like ClickFunnels, like UI. I don't have access to it yet. Opt-in page, and then we use opt-in page, thank you page. We're gonna take the logo, and then we're gonna try and like build out like the core of the offer as fast or as well as we can. I'm a fast guy, so I'll try to go as slow as I can. What are your thoughts on having a coda and a entire landing page? Uh, so actually, for Brandon here, what are your thoughts on having a GPT coding out the entire landing page using the HTML element? Well, if you go to like a Lovable, Replit, Bolt, or anything like that, it is wild how much they can design your website for you. Like, I almost want to just like throw away ClickFunnels right now and just show you. But go to any of those and just ask for a funnel. It is wild. And then another tip, I know this is like more advanced, but if you build something inside of Replit or Lovable, you can then embed it inside of an iframe onto your ClickFunnels page. So if you were to do something like, hey, I just need a little widget that's like, pretty advanced, is all this complicated, whatever, but it's just one little part of your page and you can just insert it into your ClickFunnels page. And if you look at the ClickFunnels API, you can build it outside of ClickFunnels and connect it in. So I actually really like that question because I've been doing that quite a bit. So if we go back over to Sora, so I would say that Midjourney and Leonardo is better at logos in general. Sora kind of, it's okay, but it's not like the best. But I like this one. So what I'm going to do in my little cheaty way is I just take a screenshot of this and then go over to remove.bg and we're just going to remove that. Nope, I don't think that was the right one. That was not the right image at all. Okay, so, bam. And technically, yeah, we didn't need to do this, but I usually try to remove the background as much as possible, and it doesn't do too bad of a job on this one, and it is free. So now, okay, we are here. So we have the tiny challenge. First things first, and all of its glory. It is not called a logo. That's not what you do. Okay. So what I'm going to do is try to then design around that. And then, so what one thing I have tried, let's just try it out, is to get design inspiration from AI. So build a opt-in page using this logo and use offer. Uh, one thing that like if you've used AI enough or like it is eventually you forget how to type. Like I make so many mistakes inside of a prompt for even this one, build an operating logo. Yeah, like if you look at every single prompt I've ever done to an AI, it's just I forget how to type. But the crazy thing is it doesn't really matter. It does a pretty good job. So what I've tried to do here is I've asked it to build me an inspiration, which is probably not going to work out very well. But I like to do it. So we're going to take our image that we downloaded as our logo. Tiny challenge. Gotta make it way smaller. Way smaller. So we do have some kind of like padding. So we're just gonna free flow it, right? So first things first, get rid of all of that padding. Oh, there's margin top. Yep. I remember ClickFunnels Classic. We had margin top be 5 pixels, and then one day we changed it to 20 pixels. It just kept being a debate of like, what is the right default? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We got a little logo. I personally, a lot of people say like your logo doesn't matter, like in terms of like it giving that much of importance, but I like logos. So now we're gonna add in our section. If anyone's seen Self Persuasion, check out this headline. Like this must have been Jake. If he was here, he would tell us. Like it goes headline across the top, and then like infographics all up inside of there. I wish we could do that, but that'd be pretty intense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Dante recommends keeping the logo small, and sometimes it's like you almost don't even want to use a logo, like when you're like, but you kind of have to. You spend time on it. So, okay, what we're gonna do is we're going to make the Okay, no, I'm gonna just try and avoid using the style guide for now. So we're gonna make this a little bit squishy like that, and then the line height we can't really see it right now, but we're gonna ask. Okay, let's just try asking the old AI here. I have a tiny challenge, and my unique offer is I group 5 students with 1 teacher for a tiny challenge, and I need a hook headline that is amazingly awesome. Who knows? I did kind of describe it to it. Let's see. I just kind of made this offer real quick. Join the tiny challenges, groups of 5 people. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I want the AI to like come up with so much better designs, but sometimes it just doesn't. But so we're gonna go back over to here. Then okay, so right, let's just do a little pyramid here. We got the logo, the headline, and then it has to come back down to point at something like logo, ba bam. So we're gonna do a what we're going to do is a smaller headline, and then I'm going to hopefully my description made some sense. Now we're going to try something crazy. Yeah, logo, headline, oh, video, good idea, but that would actually make me want to make a video. So here what we got is oh, it had an issue retrieving a hook headline, but it still made one anyways. Join a group of 5 students who dedicated teacher. That will do. That will do. Okay, so right away, it's hard to read. We can improve that a little bit. We do a little bit, but I still like, and then maybe that last little word being on the little guy. No, we're doing it because we want it to be extremely obvious. Then dedicated teacher. That's the word we're going to try to. Oh no, oopsies. The bold color. What we need. There's something specific. Oh, right. Okay. So it won't, for headlines specifically, it's a bit of a quirk, but when you do the bold, then it enables the bold color. Yeah, it's a little bit of a quirk there, but we're going to do like this. Then, you know what? Okay, I'm going to try 2 things just to describe, and I'm going to show you the idea that I have in my brain. Okay, so first off, I'm going to try to take this button and position it kind of along the line. If that makes any sense. 1 second here. So the colors aren't good, and that button design is It's not great, but what I'm doing is I'm going to take the padding off the top as much as I can, then make this button really, really big. So font size would make it. So you can't. Oh, you can. Okay, okay. Okay. In my brain, this was a lot easier to do. I'm trying to make the button really big. Uh, okay, we'll do like this, and then like this. Okay, and then what I'm trying to do is a little bit of that. So if we were to do, I have an idea. Okay, we're just going to focus on the top part of it so that we can get something fun. I have two ideas to show you, and hopefully this is somewhat helpful. So what do we got here? Okay, wrong spot, wrong spot. So what I'm trying to do is if we wanted to put that button up so that it's breaking the layout a little bit, what thing we need to do is add a little bit more padding to the bottom. Then we're going to try to make this area kind of stand out a little bit. Right now the colors are pretty crappy, I will admit. Maybe we just lean into the blue a little bit. Go over here, click one of our blues, maybe try to make it darker, and I'll see. Oh, we have Ben. Yay, Ben, he's in the audience. So, oh, he's not in the audience. He's with us right
Oh no, I'm
now.
here. I am here
Oh, that's
100%.
well, that's
This is
awesome.
fabulous.
So, so we got this. I wasn't expecting that. Let's go back to the little Barney right here. Give me a curiosity-based subheadline. Okay, so one thing I personally love is patterns. So let's just go over to here. Let's do a subtle repeating pattern. Sora's not the best at it, but with blue and gold stars, very subtle. And then we're going to try, and this is in a square, so one by one. So I'm trying to do like an exact square. And then if you were to do an opposite of just being like, okay, I just want a background. So I'm going to just try a pastel section background in nice subtle way using light blue. And all I'm trying to do is just generate some kind of like graphics that I can just put as the background for this area. While that's happening, right away, I don't like that this is the same color. Not that it really matters, but so yeah, I'll do something like this. We can then now let's do the detail work. Okay, so imagine. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Have you ever wondered? No. Okay, this is not a class on copywriting. We'll just do that. Okay, so we got content here. What I want to do is now I'm going to add detail work. Okay, so we're going to add some borders, some little drop shadows. We're going to try and make this button a little bit better, and change that dedicated teacher part to be a little bit more CSS-y. Maybe we can do that. So I think I might have to drop what I can. So first thing, we're gonna just do the smallest detail. So this section right here that's lightly blue, how can we make it pop a little bit without going overboard, is we can add a border. One thing you could do, we do have the recently saved, but if you can't find like that specific blue, you just go over to style and then click back over, and then it will give you that one. But as you can see, it's a pretty sharp line. So I'm just gonna kind of like play with it until it's like almost then. All I'm doing is just helping that separation between the top and the bottom. I'm not trying to make it look like it's a border. I'm not really trying to like give that vibe out there in the world. Then we're going to do a drop shadow. Let's do something like this. Then bring in the spread. Probably going to have to make this extremely. You can do the opacity, which is a good way. Probably the better way actually. So extremely small, a little bit more blue, and there you go. And then if you're like, you wanted to do, you could do little techniques. I'm not going to do now where you could do double borders where it's like one border and then you do an outline and then you get, but if and the only reason I like that technique is if you're actually doing something like this, where you're doing like a dashed thing where it looks like it's been, what's it called? You know, like stitched together. So we're going to try that angle actually. So all I did was there was a super subtle border, a little bit of drop shadow. That's kind of pulling that up in my mind. I think there needs to be more of a gap actually. Do like that maybe. Now let's go look at what Sora made for us. Anything worth using, Sora? Okay, that's definitely not what I was expecting, but this is okay. Like this is what like I was hoping for. It's just something. And then let's download that. Obviously, you'd want like more like cool like texture, but this is extremely simple, and sometimes that's all it takes. So let's take that image. Let's add it in. Okay, sorry, I haven't been checking. Purple call to action. Maybe we can, but I think there's one thing we could do to make it pop. So what we did here is let's just go to uh, cover, I think. Yeah, like that should, and then some of them do like change when you scroll, and like I personally don't like that effect. It's very disorienting. But okay, so now we have see that the texture is there. It does look surprisingly okay. Normally we'd add an overlay to kind of just make it less so. So let's just see it like this. Okay, now we're going to need to change this text and this button and make this stand out a bit more. So that's what we're going to focus on. So we're going to do something like this. Yeah, so that way I can really make that button pop. So let's focus on the button next, and then we'll do some CSS or something. Maybe we'll try like an app or something to make that dedicated teacher part. Like that's like the angle here. It's like it's a small challenge, but you get a dedicated teacher. It's not, you know, but hey, nice last name, Scott Wynter. I like that last name, by the way. Okay, so what we're gonna do is how do we make this image pop? So like, I want to Google like candy buttons. Personally, okay. So let's try to get just with what we can get with just ClickFunnels, but my brain just wants to do it the other way. So we're gonna do it the
What
other
are you
way.
trying
Let's
to do?
okay. I just want to write CSS to make it like the way my brain wants it, you know? But I
So
know
far,
that's
this has
not
been
what
a crazy in-depth time with Wynter. I say do it. Do it. Do CSS.
okay. Yeah, do it the way I would do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would add that. So one thing with ClickFunnels is no matter what element, no matter how granular it is, you can always click here, the code element, and this is going to allow you to jump over here and write in an ID. So it has to be a single word. You can use camel case. So the button. Then you have to click update. I'm pretty sure. But either way, make sure you click update so that way it's there. And then we're going to go over to our CSS. And all I'm going to do is going to say bye-bye, little Barney. Hashtag the button and then curly bracket, curly bracket. And now I'm in little CSS land. And I was like, go away button. And the cool thing is that we did this with ClickFunnels Classic is that we allowed the CSS to be live. So if you want to do something insane, actually, so let's just do this. If you want to do something crazy, display goodbye whole page. This is actually smart. In ClickFunnels Classic, the whole page would go away, which was, but nobody's actually doing that. Okay, so what we want is the button there, and then it really is the round. We could do this with we could do almost every single thing I'm about to do with normal ClickFunnels. It's just in my brain. It makes more sense. So if we do border radius, I did not do that little ClickFunnels. Okay, 20 pixels. Then it didn't change. So one thing,
Are you
and I think I
sure?
know the reason. Well, let's try it. So the bound. I think I know why. Is let's just do an extreme is. So this would be because it's in an
You just
A
set like a
tag. So
border
the
color. Oh, I see. I
it's
see.
because it's like if you want to get real
It's a
hardcore,
link.
like it's a winter show here. It's a winter show. If we want to get really hardcore about what we're looking at here, most elements inside ClickFunnels are actually wrapped inside of a tag that has its ID and then the elements inside of it. So if you see here, BTV1, then the that has the ID right here, the button there. I do have a tool inside of here. It is extremely, it's a CSS grabber. Why would I have such a thing like this? It's like so that you can go, oh, the button is this. Like this is, or if you want to get really intense, the main text or the subtext there. This is for the nerds out there. That's how you would find it. I just using a little bit of my okay. Back to the code. we're gonna just get this done. Bam. We're going to add a border. I'm gonna do that, and then box shadow. I don't actually do it this way. My apologies for coughing. I know that must be annoying to hear. Okay, so what we're gonna do. So I want it to be 3D effects, and like I'm gonna be honest with you. Normally back in the day, I would have like something, but I've used AI so much nowadays that we're just gonna like go to Claude. And we're just gonna ask it. Okay, here what we're gonna do. You could do anyone that you want. Oopsies, no, it's the wrong one. I'm just trying. Where am I? Where am I here? I'm a little too fast for myself here. Okay, sorry. Then we're gonna go copy that, paste it here. Say, I want a very nice, subtly 3D effect button that is blue with slight gradient. And nice hover effect. Bam. And then we're just going to copy and paste this over. And really what I'm trying to do, like you could do it with drop shadows where you have inset and outset. So the drop shadows on the outside, but then you're trying to put it on the inside to do the highlights to like if you're coloring something in with all the colors of highlights. But you know what? We don't want to worry about that. There is a hover state, active state, and all that stuff, but we don't need to worry about the active state. So now we got something here. Padding is all messed up. So let's just close this, open it up again, then do padding. Where did it, oh, it's because it made up its own. Okay, we need way more than that. Uh, that. And then font weight 900 would be the, is it setting it somewhere else also? It is. You can click on this to go full screen there and move you guys over here. And then there. Okay, I think. Okay, that's an okay button. I'll take it. I'll take it. Now let's go over here to see if we got the okay, so the button is good. I like it. It moved up a little bit, but it's got that like gradient. It's got the roundness. If you really looked into it, can we look into it? I don't think we can. Either way, if you see it, if you really looked up in there, there'd be a little bit of a shadow. That's a good way. Just to, for me personally, I like to see buttons almost like candy. Okay, now how are we going to do something about this dedicated teacher? So how are we rocking? Okay, so I think that'll be the last thing I'll do, and then I'll start talking to you guys a bit more. How do we get after that is going to be the question. First thing we're going to do is call it my headline. So that way we know that that whole headline has an ID. For the nerds out there, we're going to go back to our inspector. We click on here and just go here. And then we're going to see that we have the page element ID headline flash V1. Some of them are on V3. Go look, find out. And then we have headline, my headline. But then the thing that we want is inside of there. Like it's that just that one thing. So let's go ahead and try and see if we can just pull that out. What would that be? Okay. Something happened real quickly. Let's click on that and go slow. Then we see if we keep doing this. Okay, here's where it is. We found it. I wish I could make this a bit bigger, but right here we see we found the ID, which is actually a class. So in a class, I'll show you how quick that is. So in CSS, there's IDs and classes. IDs are meant to be used once. Classes are meant to be used multiple times. This ID, and then like that is our class name for that specific thing. And if we go background, and then let's just do color white. And then now we're targeting just that thing technically to make it even more specific. Is one thing inside of Click CSS is I call it my headline. And then like that would just be more specific, specificity. Okay, now, and I think by being more specific, so now how do we make this interesting? So we're gonna go back to AI. This is a highlight. in a headline. Can you make background look light yellow as if it's highlighted in a nice way? And maybe, yeah, I don't know. But if we were to like think and we were in Photoshop land, we could do anything we want. Immediately I go for the highlight, just take a yellow highlighter and just highlight it, and make it on a slight angle, or you could do like if the opposite would just be an underline, a little squiggly line, a little bit behind the messages here. Uh, yeah. Can you see the gradient? I missed the original color switch to the text. So I am a little bit being a little bit nerdy here because I do have all of this CSS. So
Can
what
you
does
zoom in
CSS
a little bit so they can read that a little bit easier?
Yeah, let's see if I can.
That's
Okay.
fabulous. Yep, cool.
Okay, so just to describe the what I did is I changed the border radius, which is the corners. There's the padding, and then it goes to top and bottom, left and right. So 30 pixels top, and then 80 pixels on each side. The font weight is 900. It's 100 to 900. 900 being the most fattest weight, and then 100 being the least weight. Border, the background, the linear gradient is probably like kind of like maybe what you're asking, but like that's just a different way of it's a CSS version of doing the gradient thing there. The drop shadow, as you can see here, and this is like more super nerdy. In ClickFunnels, you can only do one drop shadow, so that look like is like this. There'd be no comma, and then that's why when you go to here and go to the tools thing, I have it's seemingly redundant drop shadow, which would be like, why would you need that? It's like actually it's because I'm allowing you to do uh like multiple, and that's when you can get like you know different effects. But it's the really good drop shadows take like 8 or 9. All that fun thing transition. But yeah, I forgot the question. Hopefully, why did
The
you add
question is,
a?
how
Oh,
did
right.
what part of the CSS rewrote the color of the text in the background?
Okay, yeah. Okay. Just to answer that one, why did you add the A after the ID? If I don't do this, and like that, we'll see that the button is not going to be affected, or it's affected in a different way than you'd expect because it's affecting the wrapper around the actual A tag, which would be an anchor tag. In HTML, that's a link. So that's why. And if we add that just to be, and then you kind of have to dig into the HTML a little bit to kind of like, and I'm a little bit gifted because I saw how, I helped build some of this stuff, so I kind of cheat, and it's not obvious. I will say that, like some of it you have to, and I'll give a shout out to Dan Havey. I don't know if he's on here, but like that guy definitely helps go beyond.
It was very deep.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So that's the case.
You
So
had
now,
CSS helping write the highlight.
yes, 100%. Okay. So what we're going to do is to that highlight. So the button is pretty good. We got this. Let's jump back over to what it gave us. It says, here's a highlighted thing with a soft one. Ooh, it gave us options. Ooh, if you want even more subtle. Okay, I like this AI. It's very nice to me. Okay, and then we'll just paste that in there and put that down. Okay, let's make it so it's not so big. Okay, it's not terrible, but let's see what its other option was. I think I'm gonna have to tell it to do something to make it like less in your face. Um, so what I'm gonna try is let's make it okay. Let's make it so it has a handwritten underline in dark orange, dark yellow, and way more subtle uh, background highlight, and if possible, a slight animated sparkle effect on the text. Normally, almost every single time I ask for anything like that, it'll just do that like the text and then do like a quick highlight like this. So it's kind of like shimmering. But that can get annoying because I don't know. But one thing I will always like reference is like a part of the audience of anyone on the internet that doesn't like things moving. They don't like when things are disorientating. But those people usually will have animations turned off in the browser, but it's possible to bypass that. So like it's a yin and yang. I always just like to be like, there are some people who just don't like the buttons moving. Like it just doesn't help them. But there are other people, they need to get their attention. So yin and yang. Okay. Oh, look at this. It really gave us something here. And I was kind of hoping it was going to do this before and after, which is a great CSS technique. So, but we're not going to get into that nerdiness. So hopefully we add this in and we get something worth. What is that? Okay. From a design perspective, okay. Uh, I'm gonna fix it, but what right away, what's wrong? Like if this was like, it's going over the other letters, making these other letters look like they're a part of that word, which it is not. So I think I can just fix that myself, maybe. Do let's not do EMs or anything like that. That's just a little bit too confusing for me. Do that didn't work. Okay, so make the remove the background, and I don't see an animation. Da, da, da. We did Barnum PT used to be able to code, but there's a quirk, and I had to remove it. Is in order for ClickFunnels to do code, I know this is totally random, totally random. You have to click here, open this up, close it, and then the code actually gets rendered into something similar, and then it does it. So I couldn't replicate that, unfortunately. So I did have to take that out. I would normally have asked Barnum PT to be like, "Hey, you do this code," but here we are. Okay, now last try, and then I'll be more attentive to what is being said. I think we got the point of like what you could do. Oh, okay, that's a lot of CSS. Okay, and hopefully we got something. Oh wow, that's terrible. But will you like it anyways? Okay. I mean, like it's something. It's and then from here it would be about so like I'll just end this like what I did is I built like a pyramid, right? Like the logo, boom, and then it's pointing. And that's like for visual reference. And then like uh the best way to do it is do something like Russell would do, right? A bam, and then a little bit margin, and then it's like, hey, go down and then go this way, like shift over. Or if you were to do like uh you're like, no, there's more to say, way more to say, and you're like, I don't know if I would have two arrows like this actually, but we'll try it out anyways, and then bam, make that do a little bit like no, okay, and then we'll do that, but bam, okay. Well, bam. And then, make it real big and be like, okay, now you have two options. Either you go this way, which is the next page, or you go down, and then that would be more of a thing. Uh, okay, I'll hop on to read you guys. Any questions? Yeah.
Sound off, guys. That was an in-depth, really cool process. Winter, do you mind if I try to talk you through creating that button just in ClickFunnels?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You want to recreate it? That's
Yeah, can I
a little
recreate it?
challenge for you. A
Yeah,
hundred
let's re
percent.
here. Can
Did
you
you need to see?
can I actually recreate it in your window? Can you open that up again?
Oh, he does the thing where he controls my computer. Okay. Okay.
Ready?
Bam.
Just a moment. There you go.
Oh, I have to accept. Yeah, you can't accept that. That's
No, I'm not
yes, I
able.
trust him.
Sweet. Okay, here we go. So, this is fun. All right, so I'm going to come over here. We're going to add a button, and I want to do the as much of the same as I can. So I'm going to come over to the button settings. I'm going to obviously the padding on the sides needs to be wider. I think you set yours to 80, but we'll see how much we can go. We'll do that. I still have, whoa, that's really big. 15? All right. I'm gonna come down we're going to override the settings. And for the background, am I able to do? I am. Gradient.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's
If
from
you were like extra nerdy, you could even replicate that highlight at that, like, if you did just a pixel of with a gradient, but that would be too
all right,
finicky.
give me a second. I'm going slow.
Yeah, no, I dig it. And the button is really the most important thing. Like it is like the most like inputs and buttons are really like, hey, could you input something like your name and then click on something? Like, and I think it really deserves more attention to make your buttons really feel skeuomorphic, I guess would be the word, to make it look a little bit like you'd be clicking in on or pressing in it.
Then it's interesting. It's the way that this is set up, it's also affecting like whatever code you have for the other button looks like it's almost trying to affect this one. It's interesting. Corners, you wanted more round corners.
Yeah, and I always like if you'll see like I try to make the button always a different style. So like if the rest is grungy, the button is super flat. If the rest is flat, then the button is super gradient. Just so that there's like a clash to make it more obvious.
Mine are obviously way too big. Let me shrink
Yeah, I think
this.
you just need to fix the font. I mean the padding at that point.
Yeah, it's just the padding. That's pretty darn close. I just wanted to see if I could do it without Claude yelling at me.
So that's the fun part.
Oh no, that's crazy that you're able to like go into the code. You can number one find the code inside of ClickFunnels, but then number two, you're able to like customize it to such crazy extent. That is just
Yeah, I would
absolutely
say it can you can get very hairy very quickly, especially when you start asking all of that code and then you're having to replace it and then you make a mistake and then it's like it quickly becomes no fun. Uh, but thankfully I torture myself for a job, also known as a programmer. So
all right. That's
that's
pretty
looking pretty
close.
damn sharp, yeah. The drop shadow needs to be darker, and then that would get us closer because the drop shadow is pushing out the sides to make it look like it's fraying or it's not like solidifying the corners. Like if this makes any sense.
It's not bad at all. Yeah.
Where's the
That's
drop
great.
shadow?
I wonder really quick if I can add another color. Oh yeah.
Yeah, see that's what if you were like meticulous, yeah, so you could get that little 3D effect at the top with a lighter and then at the bottom a slightly darker, I think it would be. No, it's still a light on each side.
It's a little bit different. Anyways, I just wondered if I could do it. Apparently you
No,
can.
you definitely can. But let's just say you spent a good 20 minutes, not even 5 minutes, making a beautiful button, and you did the perfect little things. And then what would you do? What would be the make the so hover over your button you created, just in the editor here.
However,
Save button. Save.
oh, save it. Yep.
Bam. If you're gonna spend a lot of time doing all the details outside of your style guide, that is, and like all the details, drop shadow on text and everything, save it, and then use it again, change the colors because all that effort really, that's one of the things you could save anything in ClickFunnels. Like,
That's so crazy. This has yeah, and tiny challenges that would need officially a TM on there. You are exactly correct, Holly, because that is trademarked by
yeah,
Mr. Richmond Din. Miguel said that we could add a border on the top and the bottom.
yeah, you're very close. The drop shadow needs to be not so bright, but no big deal. What is this? Oh, border. Oh, interesting.
What
Oh,
so if
see,
we just
okay, yeah. If you take off the top border, yeah, and then you make the bottom border darker, just change that color for that border. Where is it? Oh, right here. Yeah, if you did a little bit darker, yeah, like that's too dark. But if you could then. that's one technique. And to make a button look 3D is you make the bottom border 2 pixels and the rest 1 pixels, or like and then you just do slight color like to as one technique. That's cool.
What did I set the border to?
Too wide is what you did.
Yeah.
And then if you go, yeah, a little bit smaller, it's like the details, like go like
Even
3
smaller?
pixels. Yeah, like this is like I would go 3 pixels, but I'm crazy. Bam. Oh, no, it's two
Dang.
pixels. See, now you have just this little, yeah, like the smallest little bit, and then if you did the drop shadow dark, then you could basically like get everything I did with the CSS. So
That's crazy, bro.
no,
Okay,
it's
cool.
nice.
Thanks
And
for
you
letting me
see how
know.
it looks a
Yeah.
little bit like candy, like I want to pick it up and walk away with it and eat it.
Yeah. No, I
But
think
you
we're all
have
right.
fun.
I think, yeah, I think this is good.
Yeah.
Dude, this is really, really cool. Okay, so yeah, we should probably if we're sharing this out to
Um.
everybody, we should probably make that a little challenge. If we're sharing this as a template to everybody after you're done.
Oh, maybe later I can maybe just like complete this page a bit and make it available to you guys. Like one thing I would say if this was a design for somebody, I would say, okay, it's too blue. And then one thing I would do is I would do little, I want to point at the screen, but next to the button on each side, maybe having a little like hand-drawn arrow or a little thing that says like a little note, like, you're gonna love it. Or and then on one side, maybe the photo or above the button have a group of photos of students.
Mm.
And add in the orange, so like there's so much more we could do here to hit all of those things of like no like trust and all that stuff. Thank you guys.
So, you got a question, Winter. If we can
Oh,
create a button all with CSS, can you save it as an element, or because it was CSS, it won't save? You're going to have something on the page. It could be a button, it could be text. You're going to have something, and everything can be saved. So, yeah, it's going to have to be something. So, I would start with a button and then use CSS in order to adjust it. Yeah.
and I think like from my understanding, I think it doesn't save the CSS. So if we were to save the first button and then we would use it and on a different page, it would ignore all the CSS. But if the one that Ben did, all the attributes lives inside of ClickFunnels, so it would transfer over. But if you were to do like straight up like, hey, a tip is make a bunch of open up a new blank page, make a bunch of buttons, go to Claude, ask for a bunch of different styles, put it all into the one page as your own like little reference document of all these different button styles, and then you can just go there and copy it over. It's a little
So,
bit
one
more
other
manual,
thought.
but
Can I try something really quick?
yeah.
Okay, so let me go up to the settings really quick. I just wonder, and this is getting into the weeds, but we've already been in the weeds. This is like the weeds episode. Because it's freaking awesome. All right, go all the way down. If I copy all of that, just making sure it's actually going to copy, close, um, and then I save this as a universal element, make it universal. You can delete this later, Winter.
Yeah, no
Apologies
worries.
for doing stuff to your account.
It's all the aliens and testing.
Okay, so if
But
you
this is
make
an
this,
interesting idea. So you're gonna like make it a universal section and then add because it has its own little editor
it
inside
has
of
its own editor that saves CSS. So if you wanted to make it universal, that
Okay,
should say, is it
interesting.
paused saving? Is that for you and
It
me?
says saving. Okay,
Oh,
and
okay,
then
okay.
okay,
All
interesting.
right, so we go to the edit block, and then inside of here, we have our code specific to here.
Yeah,
So I'd actually
very,
be able to paste that in over here.
very. Okay, and then so what I would check right away since it didn't apply is the ID of that. So can we click on that button?
Did it save the
And
ID?
then yeah, the button. Oh, you copied the headline stuff. Sorry.
Ah, yes, I did.
Yeah. But which this is actually pretty smart. Let's try this out. Okay, let's put it in the right CSS and let's go to a new page and try that out because this is actually a pretty advanced technique that I would have never thought of and actually allows you to like kind of go that extra little bit. as a programmer, I never do right click, copy, and paste. That would slow me down.
I
It's just
know, but I
Control
want
C.
everybody to see that I'm definitely
Okay.
copying and pasting. That and I'm using your computer, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure that the keystrokes are going to match perfectly.
Yeah,
So
no, you did. Awesome. Perfect. Awesome.
look at that. And then if we go back to this page, then I can take the settings off of this. That would be the
Wait, that's
perfect.
crazy. I never even thought about a universal button that then triggers like the submit or like, yeah, no, like, yeah, yeah, you're blowing my mind here.
No, I think I broke something else.
Oh, yeah, that
Oh,
was just the headline
I went
CSS
down.
because we
I went
like,
down too far. There we are. Huh.
okay, wait, what happened there?
I
Okay,
don't.
so delete that element, maybe. Maybe we delete that element since we did save it. We did put the CSS in there, right?
I'm trying to undo.
This
Okay.
is a purely experiment. Like we didn't, this is not something advertised that
It's
it does.
entirely unadvertised.
Yeah.
But if I delete that,
Okay. Oh, it's not a universal section anymore.
whoa, it's not universal anymore.
Yeah, so if you delete that and then maybe we add in, I've actually like rarely used universal section, so let's yeah, universal. We got button CSS right there. Yeah, it's got yeah, no, you are correct. For some reason it just did something there. But now that it's universal, then we don't even really need to prove it. It would that's how we do it. That's actually awesome.
That is crazy. Okay, really quick. Because I don't think it's going to bring the universal section over to everybody. I'm going to take that code. Like when you share this, I'm actually going to put the code out there for everybody on the larger ones.
Well,
That
okay,
way.
so it is a good technique. The only limitation is that it's a universal section, right? Is that like you change it once, it changes everywhere.
Yeah,
Um, that is so cool. Well, when
it's
you
not too.
save it, it's not, you don't get that little editor, right? No.
It's not too shabby. Cool. Dan
Yeah.
Havey's educating us. You can add the universal button to the page and then copy the code into a regular CSS and then unlink. Yeah, because then if I come in here, yeah, then we'll just come over here, we'll unlink it. So that way that's not a,
Oh,
you
oh,
don't have,
what? You,
you never saw that?
so you just put it on the page as if it, and then you said disconnect from the source, but now I
Well,
get
you have to
everything.
grab the CSS out of the universal and toss it into the actual page so you
Oh,
don't
oh,
lose
it
it. But
didn't
yeah,
pop it out of it. Okay, okay.
no, I
So
did
I'll put
that
my brain
manually.
back in, back in.
Yeah. So,
My wife
yeah,
thought
but
that was a funny joke, but she's over here. She's
all right, there we go. I just wanted to say, cool. Oh, Dan Havey, gosh, it create it as it is as a CSS link sheet, and you can apply it across all pages. Yeah,
yeah, no, that's a good point too. Yeah, like if you were to like this is like for the coders. Like what we're basically doing is we're trying to figure out how if we spend all this effort into this CSS, how can we make it so that we don't have to do that in the future, which would still require a little bit of workarounds, but we
but
do
here's
save
the
it.
funny thing. You create that CSS link sheet, you're literally doing your job twice because the style guide can do a lot of that. So it's only for those who really want to go that extra mile, make it really crazy. You want to do something super crazy, like you want to animate it, you want to have it that have the
On the
hover
most
effects, you want
important
to do
elements, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, on the
yeah.
most important elements, yes, and then you can play with that. So there's a whole bunch you can do. Holy smokes. That,
Awesome. We did it.
Winter, was a deep dive. Thank you so much.
Heck yeah.
Thanks for letting me play in your account. I'll stop now.
I appreciate it.
There we
Yeah,
go.
and we'll just end it here. Like it's so silly, and like I like it's if you can go if you have a free Barnum PT account, you can go there, and I think there's three that I allow you to try because. But then I like added 10 as like a limit, and like I'm like, who's gonna do 10? I don't know. I just happen to think it's amazing, and I made everybody on the team Barnum PT a five. So hopefully that just
That
brings you a giggle, you know.
is so fabulous. Really quick. Somebody asked, are there going to be replays? There are always replays. In order to access replays, all you have to do is let me show you. But that's understand.me. That's something totally different. All right, here we go. Share, share. My computer's really slow. I'm using a different computer. All right, here we are. If you register at funnelfridays.com, so go ahead and register for the next one. When you're registered, we will put a tag on your account. that unlocks the entire replays. Now, if you're like, well, where did you find that, Ben? Scroll to the very bottom, click on login, and when you do that, you'll be able to come over here and you can actually see all the replays. Now, these are in order from the very first all the way to the very last. All right. So you can see everything we've done and like within an hour and a half. So as long as it takes for this to actually, render and all that stuff, we will toss it up there so that way that replay will be available there. And then I try to get it out onto the community so that way the community can all watch it on the ClickFunnels Facebook group, as well as a couple other places. So we drop it as much and as often as we can. So hopefully we'll be able to help you out and do that. So go over here, come find replays, and you can find all of the different links. Wynter, you're totally cool with like making that
Yeah.
template you create available for everybody so we can see like how the code works.
So do I have a little bit of permission to add on to the page before I give it to you guys?
Is that okay
Because
with
like
you guys? Is it all right if
yeah,
Wynter over delivers and tries to make it
maybe
a
throw some
little bit
flex
better?
container weirdness up in there. Just, like mostly if we took this as like an experiment page, like find some techniques, explore, see what I did. Okay, awesome. I'll do that. Thank you, Oscar. Yay, we got 3 yeses. That's what we're doing.
Absolutely. And then there is one question that Lee had really quick. Lee, the Russell did a event yesterday called Self-Persuasion. That it was supposed to be 4 hours and ended up being 6 hours, not including VIP. And so Russell promised everybody that was on the call that the way that they're going to do it is they're going to make an encore replay for the next 4 days or so. And so that encore is being processed and organized. You should get an email about that encore. It will not last forever unless you purchase VIP. So that's self-persuasion. That's totally separate. I'm not trying to cross the streams, but I want to make sure everyone's good to go. Sweet. All right. So Wynter, when you do that, share with me the share link if you would. I'll toss it in the members area so everybody has it. And go play with all those different things, guys. Like you've seen the master at work, creating like how to create your ClickFunnels design and then being able to put it on all like how to be able to grab the CSS and then do some really fancy things with just plain English. That's actually going to take it to the next level and how to do that all piece by piece. And so I'm going to call this what do you call this? Is this Coder's Corner? Is this
Yes,
Coding
yes.
Corner?
Yeah, and big shout out to Rich. Like I did last week said coding corner, and then next thing you know, I'm in a little group of coders. And I can't be happier about it. So that's awesome.
Fabulous. Coding Corner. All right. So and then really quick, we will not be meeting next week. Next week is Thanksgiving for those here in the United States. And then we'll have Black Friday right after that. And if you're paying attention, there might be a couple of things dropping on Black Friday that we might be freaking out about over here. So everybody join in, have a wonderful time. And One Funnel Away is starting right now. You can hop on with Dante. Dante just got back from being in Japan with the Brunson himself in order to launch Japan, and all the Japanese people just absolutely loved his energy. If you would like to jump in, definitely go jump in. That's available for you guys right now. Thank you for doing this. Wynter, thank you for taking the helm. Holy heck. That was
Yeah, thank you.
fabulous. I'm like,
I was at like it was 11:02 or something. I'm like, where is Ben? I don't know if I could do this. It's like, but we
I don't
did
know if
it.
I'm needed. That is
Thank you
amazing.
very much, Cetus.
You're fabulous. Everybody, can we thank
Hopefully, next time after Funnel Friday is Thanksgiving's for Americans, and then just make Money Day for everybody else, right? And then after that, hopefully, we might have the whole crew. We never really know. Even me and Ben don't know like who's going to be there the day, So hopefully,
No, we find out the week of. It's like, is
yeah.
Russell going to be around? What's actually going to happen? And so yeah, we'll find out what happens the first week of December. Wynter, thank you. Everybody, thank you so much. Wynter,
Thank you
you're
guys all.
absolute genius.